Yes, children. So finally we understood about the paramountcy, that is the supreme power which has been given or taken by the British East India Company. Okay, and the next we can see about, see, in the late 1830s, the East India Company became worried about Russia. Why, East India Company was worried about Russia? Because even Russia, that is, the Russia was also trying to take or control the many, the countries or the states across the world. So that is the reason this East India Company became worried about the Russia. Okay, see, it imagined that Russia might expand across Asia and enter India from the northwest. So as I told you people, even the Russia was trying to expand its powers and trying to control the many other states of the country, the world. So that time what happened, this, the East India Company was worried about most probably even Russia may expand across even Asia also, Asian, the countries also, and even it may enter to India also from the northwest. Okay, this side, the northwest side. Okay, see, driven by this fear, the British now wanted to secure their control over the northwest. So this portion of India, the northwest, so they were trying to take the more control over the northwest of India, northwest portions. It is like Rajasthan, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, this portion, the border to the Pakistan and Afghanistan. Okay, fine, children. And then, see, they fought a prolonged, that is the continuous, the long war with Afghanistan between 1838 and 1842 and established indirect company rule there. So finally what happened? They were in the fear that Russia may come to India through the, the northwest side. So that's the reason they were trying to take the control over the northwest, the states. But after that, the British people had a prolonged war with Afghanistan in the year of 1838 and the 1842 and established indirect company rule there. So directly they were not putting some rules there, but indirectly they started to impose some rules. The British East India Company rules even in the Afghanistan. Okay, see, Sindh was taken over in 1843. Next in line was Punjab. So as I told you people, they were trying to conquer or acquire the places, annex the the Indian states. They were trying to conquer the places, establish the company territory. So then what they were trying to do? They were trying to expand their company territory. So that is the reason they were just, taking the power of many Indian states. The same way Sindh was taken over in 1843. You can see children, Sindh. So finally, Sindh was taken over by British people in 1843 and then next line was Punjab, that is Sikh Kingdom. Okay, in the year of 1849, even that Sikh Kingdom, that is the Punjab, was also taken over by British people. See here we can see, but the presence of Maharaja Ranjit Singh held back the company. So it was difficult for them to control the Punjab. That was quite difficult for them because of the Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Just remember the name, children. Was very powerful king or the ruler. Okay, see, after the death of this Maharaja Ranjit, the king or the ruler, in the year of 1839, two prolonged, the wars were fought with the Sikh kingdom. Ultimately, in the year of 1849, In the year of 1849, Punjab was annexed. Okay, Punjab was also, was under the control of British people. Okay, guys, understood, right? In the year of 1843, Sindh was taken over by the British people. In the year of 1849, even the Sikh kingdom was under the control of British people. Okay, see. And the next and very important, the concept or the policy which has been introduced by British people, that is the doctrine of lapse. What do you mean by doctrine of lapse? Why they have introduced this? What is the purpose of that? Let's see. See, the final wave of annexations occurred under Lord Dalhousie. Guys, remember Lord Dalhousie, who was the Governor General from 1848 to 1856. Okay, 1848 to 1856. This, the doctrine of lapse, this rule or the policy was introduced by the Lord Dalhousie. Okay, from whom it has been introduced? By Lord Dalhousie. Okay, see here. He devised a policy that came to be known as the doctrine of lapse. So the Dalhousie has introduced one policy. Its name is the doctrine of lapse. What is the meaning? What is the purpose of this policy? That means, for example, just imagine, children, our Indian kingdom is there. Our Indian kingdom, the many kingdoms were there. So same way, just let's take it as an example of, it is like Nawabs were there, Mughals were there, Marathas were there. So like Indian states or the kingdoms or the kings were there, rulers were there. Once the male, the king or the ruler of that particular dynasty died, so that entire dynasty will become a part of company territory. Guys, understand? If any Indian states or the dynasty or the territory is there, once the male, the ruler of that particular dynasty or the empire dies, then that entire dynasty or the empire will become a part of the company asset or the territory. That is the main rule or the purpose of this policy, that is doctrine of lapse. Okay, see here. The doctrine declared that if an Indian ruler died without a male, heir, his kingdom would lapse, that is become the part of the company territory. Guys, you people understood, right? So if any Indian ruler dies without the male successor in his family, there is no male successor to rule the country or to rule or take care of his entire kingdom, then they lose the power of that particular kingdom. So that means that will become the part of the company territory. Okay, that is the main purpose of this doctrine of lapse. They, they lapse the power for the entire family. Okay, that is the main purpose. Guys, you people understood what do you mean by doctrine of lapse, right? Very good. Who has introduced that? Lord Dalhousie. See, one kingdom after another was annexed simply by applying this doctrine. So what happens here? There is no purpose of doing wars or something. It's not necessary they have to fight against the the kings or the kingdoms, because it's just a rule they have been framed. If there is no successor, the male successor in that territory, of course the entire territory will become a part of the company territory. So in the same way, many kingdoms, they lost the power and it has become the part of the company. See here, these kingdoms included, that is Sathara in the year of 1848, Sambalpur in the year of 1850, Udaipur in the year of 1852, Nagpur in the year of 1853, and Jhansi in the year of 1854. So like this, the many kingdoms, they lost its power and became the part of the company. Okay. See. Finally, in the year of 1856, the company also took over Awadh. So finally, what happened, children? Awadh also taken over by the British people, that is the company. See here, the Awadh also taken over by the British people. So guys, you people understood in today's class the two important concepts we have learnt. One, it is, yes, paramountcy, and the one more, it is doctrine of lapse. Okay, so you people understood the supreme power which has been the company has taken, acquired. It is not given, it is acquired by the East India Company, the supreme power. Okay, and then the one more policy was introduced, was, that is the one policy, paramountcy was the one policy, and the one more was doctrine of lapse. Okay, if no successor, the male successor in the Indian kingdoms or the territories or the empire, that entire kingdom will be, lose its power and it will become the part of the company territory. Okay, same way many, the kingdoms lost its power and they became the part of this company, other, part of the company territory. Okay, see here. This time the British had an added argument. They said they were obliged by duty to take over Awadh in order to free the people from the misgovernment. So they are stating that to free the people from the misgovernment of the Nawab, enraged by the humiliating way in which the Nawab was deposed, the people of Awadh joined the great revolt that broke out in the year of 1857. So finally what happened? This time the British people, they had one more, the add-on argument along with the doctrine of lapse. Okay, so they said that, they were doing the obliged by the duty, that is they are doing the duty, that means they are trying to help the people, free the people from the misgovernment of the Nawab. What the Nawab were ruling the country, they were trying to, save the people, free the people from the misgovernment. So by that, enraged by humiliating way in which the Nawab was deposed. So even finally the people of Awadh also joined the great revolt that broke in the year of 1857. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? See, finally you can see it's there in your textbook also, children. So you can see in the yellow color, in only these portions were under the control of British, but slowly how British people took the control over India. See, here in the yellow color, whichever the states are there, only those states were controlled by the British people, like Bengal or those places. Later, slowly they started to take over in the southern parts of the Indian, the countries also, like Awadh and other southern portions. Later, they started to take over the maximum control. Okay, fine, children. Then in today's class you have to understand about the doctrine of lapse. You have to explain about that the policy, and then you have to explain about the paramountcy. What do you understand about that paramountcy, the supreme power? About that you have to explain, and then write a note on Rani Chennamma and Sangoli Rayana. So about Rani Chennamma and Sangoli Rayana. So the British people were trying to take or annex the Kittur. So that time how Rani Chennamma fought against the British people, and how this Chowkidar Sangoli Rayana also continued the revolution. Okay, children, hope you guys are understanding the concepts. If any doubts, guys, let me know. Thank you all. Have a